Welcome to the world of the Crusaders, a fascinating era in medieval history that brought together knights, kings, peasants, and priests in an epic clash of cultures, faiths, and ambitions. The story of the Crusades is more than just battles and sieges. It's a tale of human resilience, passion, and the relentless pursuit of dreams, both sacred and worldly. In this video, we'll explore the Crusaders' incredible journeys, the drama behind their decisions, and how their legacy still shapes the world today. Picture this. It's the year 1095. Europe is a land of castles, lords, and peasants. The streets of bustling towns echo with merchants' chatter and the occasional clang of a blacksmith's hammer. Life is tough, but faith runs deep. For Christians, Jerusalem, the Holy Land, is a symbol of their deepest spiritual connection. Yet this sacred city is under Muslim control, and access for Christian pilgrims has become increasingly dangerous. Enter Pope Urban II. At the Council of Clermont, he delivers a fiery speech that would go down in history. Standing before a crowd of nobles, knights, and clergy, he declares, "Deus vult," God wills it. His message is clear. Christians must take up arms to reclaim Jerusalem. The crowd erupts in cheers. Some knights kneel, vowing to join the holy mission, while others begin dreaming of glory and wealth. What made this speech so powerful? Pope Urban II didn't just appeal to faith. He offered rewards that spoke to everyone. For knights, there was the promise of eternal salvation and glory. For peasants, the adventure offered an escape from their harsh lives. And for lords and kings, it was a chance to gain land, power, and influence. Thus began the First Crusade, a journey that would unite Europe under a common cause and forever change the course of history. When we think of Crusaders, the image of a valiant knight in shining armor often comes to mind, but the reality was far more diverse. Crusaders came from all walks of life. Knights, peasants, merchants, and even women joined the cause. Each group had its own reasons for participating. For knights, the Crusades were a calling. They donned heavy chainmail, carried shields emblazoned with crosses, and rode into battle on powerful war horses. Their motivations were a mix of religious devotion, personal ambition, and a thirst for adventure. Imagine a young knight dreaming of proving his worth on the battlefield and returning home with tales of heroism. Peasants, on the other hand, saw the Crusades as a rare opportunity. Life in medieval Europe was harsh, with most peasants toiling on farms owned by lords. The Pope's promise of spiritual rewards and the chance to leave their hardships behind inspired thousands to join. Armed with makeshift weapons, they marched alongside seasoned soldiers, driven by hope and faith. Even merchants saw the potential in the Crusades. The journey to the Holy Land opened up new trade routes, bringing spices, silk, and other exotic goods to Europe. For them, the Crusades weren't just a holy mission, they were an investment. The First Crusade began in 1096, and it was anything but easy. Imagine thousands of people marching across Europe through treacherous mountains and vast deserts with limited supplies. Hunger, disease, and exhaustion claimed many lives before they even reached the battlefield. But those who persevered were driven by unwavering faith. When the Crusaders finally reached Jerusalem in 1099, they launched a brutal assault on the city. The siege lasted weeks, with fierce fighting on both sides. In the end, the Crusaders stormed Jerusalem, claiming victory and establishing several Crusader states, including the Kingdom of Jerusalem. This moment was a triumph for the Crusaders, but it came at a heavy cost. The streets of Jerusalem ran red with blood as the Crusaders slaughtered both Muslim and Jewish inhabitants. It was a stark reminder that the Crusades, while driven by faith, were also marked by violence and devastation. While the First Crusade was a success, subsequent campaigns proved far more challenging. The Second Crusade, 1147 to 1149, was launched after the fall of the county of Edessa, one of the Crusader states. Despite the efforts of kings and knights, this crusade ended in failure, with the Crusaders unable to achieve their objectives. Then came the Third Crusade, 1189 to 1192, arguably the most famous of them all. Led by legendary figures like Richard the Lionheart of England and Saladin, the Sultan of Egypt and Syria, this campaign became a battle of giants. Saladin had recaptured Jerusalem in 1187, and Richard was determined to take it back. Their rivalry is the stuff of legends. Richard's military prowess was unmatched, earning him victories at battles like Arsuf. But Saladin's cunning and diplomacy kept Jerusalem out of Richard's grasp. In the end, the two leaders reached a truce, allowing Christian pilgrims to visit Jerusalem while keeping it under Muslim control. This crusade highlighted the complexity of the conflict. It wasn't just about faith. It was a chess game of strategy, alliances, and respect between two formidable leaders. What was it like to be a crusader? For knights, it meant rigorous training and discipline. They practiced swordsmanship, jousting, and horsemanship to prepare for the brutal realities of battle. Their armor was heavy, their swords sharp, and their resolve unshakable. But life wasn't all about fighting. Crusaders spent weeks or months traveling, enduring harsh conditions. They faced hunger, disease, and the constant threat of attack. Yet, amidst the hardships, there was camaraderie. Sharing food, stories, and prayers created bonds that kept them going. Peasants and common folk who joined the Crusades had an even tougher time. Without proper training or equipment, they relied on sheer determination and faith. Despite their challenges, their contributions were invaluable, often providing support to the knights and ensuring the success of the campaign. One of the most fascinating aspects of the Crusades is the cultural exchange they facilitated. As Crusaders traveled to the Holy Land, they encountered advanced civilizations with rich traditions in science, medicine, and art. These interactions brought new ideas and technologies back to Europe. For example, Crusaders introduced Europeans to innovations like algebra, surgical techniques, and even spices like cinnamon and pepper. Gothic architecture, with its pointed arches and intricate designs, was influenced by Middle Eastern styles. Literature and art flourished, with tales of the Crusades inspiring epic poems and chronicles. However, the Crusades also left a legacy of mistrust and conflict. The violence and destruction they brought to the Middle East fostered animosity between Christians and Muslims, a tension that lingers in some ways even today. The Crusades officially ended in the late 13th century, with the fall of the last Crusader stronghold in 1291. By this time, Europe had changed dramatically. The feudal system was giving way to centralized monarchies, and the age of exploration was on the horizon. While the Crusaders' military goals were largely unfulfilled, their impact on history was profound. They reshaped Europe's economy, politics, and culture, laying the groundwork for the Renaissance and the modern world. The Crusaders' story is more than just a chapter in history books. It's a reminder of humanity's capacity for both greatness and destruction. Their journeys reveal the power of faith, the allure of ambition, and the complexities of cultural interaction. Today, their legacy lives on in our discussions about religion, conflict, and coexistence. By studying the Crusades, we gain insights into our shared history and the lessons it holds for the future. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the world of the Crusaders. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Let us know in the comments which part of the Crusaders' story fascinated you the most. Until next time, keep exploring history